I wanted to ask you, as we know, so many of these kids the youth in the facilities have an IEP, learning disability. How does IDEA law apply to youth in corrections?
The same as it does in public school. So if I have an IEP in public school and I come to school inside a correctional facility, I qualify for services there as well. Mm-hmm. So the responsibility for providing those services resides with whoever's providing education services. So in some jurisdictions, it might be the local school corporation also provides services, education to the kids who are incarcerated. It might be like in Indiana, we had in the corrections facilities, the state of Indiana actually hired teachers to provide education services. So the state was, in that regard, was responsible for making sure that not only were education services provided, but also that we met all of the criteria for delivering special education as well for those who qualified.
Well, and I can only imagine that and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, it's difficult or possibly a lot of turnover with educators in the facilities. And so with that, I'm guessing it's probably hard sometimes to provide everything that we know they need, or is that wrong?
It can be okay. Very much so. And so I'll just put it this way. If I'm a public school superintendent, for example, in charge of the district, I might need 10 physics teachers, to be in all of my schools, and I can only find 5. All right. So there's a shortage of physics teachers, or I'm having a hard time finding math teachers, different subject areas. It seems like there's kind of a trend, it's like, oh, this year we're having a hard time finding this kind of a teacher. Yeah. But it's the same in corrections, but maybe magnified, because it is not everybody's cut out to work with kids who are so needy. We ended up in Indiana, we have required that anyone who, I say we, I've retired, but at the time, we and I think they still do, if you are coming to work inside a juvenile school, you have your content license, like it might be social studies or English, but then you also needed to either have a special education license as well, or you had to, as part of a condition of employment, you needed to get the emergency special education licensure and then finish what you need, the courses that you needed so that you could become both. So that was one way that Indiana kind of got to the point where we're able to staff our schools, because seriously, if you have 300 students in a school and you only have 6 special ed teachers and, half of the student, have 150 who need services, that's not realistic. 6 people can't do that. So you have to be able to build, this capacity to be able to provide these services.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like, 6 people could do it, not well, and they won't last long. Right. And, and they're not going to stick around, and then you have to replace the... Right. I love that they're doing the special education license with that, because as you and I both know, gen ed and special ed are just so different. So a lot overlaps the same, but they're also so different that I love that that's very forward thinking to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely helped us to be able to just have more, like I said, have the capacity to meet more needs, be flexible,
Yeah, absolutely. That's the name of the game anymore, right? In any education, it's flexibility.